Hey everybody, it's Dr. V. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you to everybody who's liked, commented, subscribed, shared my videos. Excuse me. I just love you all so much. Also, thank you to you, those of you that have reached out to me and shared just your thoughts and your appreciation via email and your suggestions. I appreciate all of that. It's so much love. I want to say, if you'd like to schedule a private reading with me, the link for how to do that is below in the description box, and it's also in the cover photo of the page of this channel. You can just go up and click and it'll take you right to the scheduling page, the Instant Go, or my PayPal if you decide that you want to make an energy exchange donation, which is always appreciated and deeply loved. So let's go ahead and jump right in. This is the no communication spread for this week. This week of July. Today's July 11th. So just see what's going on with your counterpart. I already pre-shuffled, but I'm going to shuffle again. Spirit, please use me as a clear channel for communication. May the messages that come through be those in the highest good of all those concerned. I draw a sacred circle around this space, setting my ego to the outside. I call upon ascended masters, my guides, ancestors, higher wisdom, source, and divine love to be with me during this time. All right, so let's just jump right in. I'm going to use easy for me to say, the John Holland Psychic Tarot. I just felt led to use this deck today. I haven't used it for a while, so I'm going to go ahead and see what's going on. So what's the reason for the lack of communication? Spiritual strength, hope, and the waiting game. Okay, so the thing is that the counterpart that you're listening for in this particular reading is building their spiritual strength. They have not had the strength that they needed to reach out to you up to this point. The reason that they're not in communication is because something might have happened in this connection that kind of zapped them or made them feel, triggered some feelings of unworthiness or just feelings of not feeling strong. And so they're having to rebuild their strength right now, spiritually rebuilding their strength. And this card, this is the Star card in the traditional tarot. It's hope. Why are they not communicating? Because they don't have hope. They're in this space that they don't have enough hope yet to believe that this connection is possible. It's like if something happened, if something went down between the two of you, they may be feeling like there is just no hope. Like it was the connection was damaged beyond repair, and so they just may be feeling hopeless around that, and so that's why they're not communicating. And then this is the waiting game. It's literally just about being in a pause. This is a time, because of this spiritual strength being built, that things are just in a pause. It's like they know in their higher self, their spiritual knowledge, even if they aren't necessarily the most spiritual people, it's like they're intuitively sensing that it's just not time, that this is a time to wait. This is not a time to move forward. And so that's why there is no communication. So what's the cause of this no communication? Sacrifice, accelerated motion, and passion ignited. I'm really liking this because these purple cards are all about spirituality. So there's a lot of spiritual growth that's happening right now. So what's the cause for this is that they felt like they had to make a sacrifice. So the person who's not communicating with you felt like they had to make a sacrifice. They had to, it's like whether they're in a, like a karmic situation, or whether it's like, well, they had a job opportunity that was on the other side of the country and they took that because that was what they felt they needed to do. They feel like they had to make a sacrifice. They had to give up something in order to move towards something else. And so that's the cause. It's like I'm getting that they don't feel like they can even come back at this point. They're still waiting. They're still not sure if they can come back because they feel like they sacrificed you for something else. And they feel I'm getting a sense of some guilt around that. They may feel guilty that they did that. And so that's part of why they are the cause of why they went into no communication. Now, this card right here, what this is saying to me is because this no communication actually accelerated the growth process for both parties. Because it is one of those things where when you're in, I don't know about those of you, but I know for me that when I went into no communication and into separation with my connection, that it really was a catalyst for some significant growth. Because for a lot of people, it's so painful to go into separation from your counterpart that it drives you to your knees, like spiritually. So you do more work spiritually, you grow, and triggers all kinds of stuff for you to come up and heal, that to come up that you need to heal. So this is what I'm getting from this card, is literally that this happened so that there could be that forward dynamic spiritual growth that needed to happen for both parties. I'm really sensing that it was such a painful event for both people, that there was a lot of purging that has happened. There's a lot of transformation that has occurred. People are not the same person that they were. So think back to who you were when you first connected with your twin. Think back to what was going on in your life and what direction you were headed in, and then look at where you are now and see if there has been an acceleration in growth. See if there has been a significant advancement in your spirituality, especially because of this, because I'd be willing to bet that it is. And this was a passion ignited. Again, it's that sense of the loss of that connection really ignited that passion to come into union together. Just think about it. Think about if this worked out perfectly the first time, if it's like you came into union, everything was great and everything was wonderful and stayed that way, would you ever do the growth? Would you ever have been prompted to get on your spiritual journey? Would you ever have been prompted to fall on your knees before the divine and ask for support? Probably not. You would have just continued on your merry way. And so what Spirit is saying is that the reason that this happened is because it had to happen so that you could grow the way that Spirit wants you to grow. So that this connection can be what Spirit wants this connection to be. So I hope that's all making sense. I'm going to move these aside and jump into the next question, which is, how would they feel to communicate? So we got the base chakra, spiritual union, and patience and planning. So how they would feel that sense of safety again. The base chakra is about your sense of safety and belonging in the world. It's like they don't feel like at home in the world without you, if that makes sense. It's like they felt like you were home. That's literally what's coming through, is that it's like literally, like what I'm getting is that they're thinking, I always thought home was a place, but I realize now that home is a person, and I feel at home with this person. I feel safe, I feel comfortable, I feel like I can be myself, I feel like they love me unconditionally. So how they would feel to communicate with you is they would feel safe again. They would feel like they were back where they belong. Now they would feel this sense of spiritual union, right? They would feel this coming together. This is like, the Two of Cups, beautiful energy. That's how they would feel. And they would feel this sense of being able to be patient and to plan for a future. I get really strongly that they're thinking about how could they possibly have a future with you given whatever has happened or whatever the current life circumstances are. But I feel like if they think if we were to communicate, we'd be able to talk about it. And we'd be able to figure out how we could be patient and how we could plan for this to work out in the long run, even if right now it's not a possibility. So it definitely feels like they wouldn't feel like it's a negative to communicate, for sure. It feels like they feel like it would be that it could be very positive. So what's holding them back? So we've got repetitive sixes here, and what's holding them back? They don't have the wisdom yet. They're still seeking wisdom. That's what's holding them back. It's like they understand spiritually, they understand that they don't quite have the wisdom that they need in order to come forward with this connection. There's still something that they need to learn. This could also be because this is the Hierophant or Hierophant, however you say it, in the traditional tarot. It could be that there's legal things that are holding them. So again, it could be if they have if they're married or they're in some kind of contract with somebody else, that could be what's holding them back from coming forward and communicating. They don't feel like they're seeing things clearly yet. They don't feel like they have quite tapped in yet. And so there's this, I just see this kind of calcification over their third eye chakra, where it's or somebody, if you've ever seen somebody that has I think they're called cataracts on their eye, and it's kind of obscures their vision. That's sort of how I'm seeing their third eye right now. It's just kind of blocked. They're not seeing things clearly yet, and so it's holding them back. They realize that they don't have the wisdom yet. They're still working on that. They're still growing. They're not seeing things quite clearly yet. So this could be, again, if something happened in the connection and you maybe things ended poorly, it could be that they feel like they're just not seeing it clearly yet. They just haven't seen the spiritual purpose for it. And so that's something that is keeping them back. And this victory and success card is about they don't feel victorious. They don't feel successful yet. They don't feel like they've overcome whatever it was that drove the two of you apart at this point. They still feel like they have work to do. They want, I get that this energy that they want to come back when they feel like they're actually ready. They're standing on their own 2 feet. They've resolved their karma. They've worked through their stuff. They're not, trapped in the same old destructive cycles. And so they realize that they're not there yet. They still have work to do. They're not at the space of being victorious and successful. And so that's part of what's holding them back. So move these aside. And what do they need in order to communicate? Balance. Memories of love. And awareness. Amazing. So the first card is 11, balance. What they need is obviously they clearly need to come into balance. It's they're maybe really caught in their head right now. They may be really in the mental space, not really in the emotional space too much. They may just be seeing things from an out of balance perspective. They may be seeing only their side of things. They don't see your side of things. They don't see how they contributed to this situation. So there's just not a sense of balance that's present right now. And so what they need to do is they need to have these memories of love. This is looking back at the past fondly. I'm getting that part of what they're doing is they're blocking out the past positive memories that they had with you. It's they don't want to look at the fact that they felt at home with you, that they felt like they finally found the place and the person where they belong. They don't want to acknowledge that, because if they do, then they have to acknowledge some of that grief and what they did to contribute to that. And so I get the sense that they, if they allow themselves to feel those memories of love, it will help them feel safer to reach out. Now, I got this message just now. Spirit said, it's also important for you, watcher, to focus on the memories of love. I got this very clear image of a lot of people focusing on the pain, focusing on what went wrong, focusing on all of those things, and Spirit saying, focus on the memories of love, so that when you're thinking about your twin, you're thinking about the times that you had together that were amazing, that were beautiful, that were everything that you always wanted. And when you stay focused and when you stay on that energy, then it actually magnetizes them to you, because you're sending that loving energy to them. Now, what they need is they need to have awareness. They need to open their third eye chakra and be able to see the situation for what it is, and allow themselves to rise into that space of awareness around it. This is also the Magician card in the traditional tarot. So they need to be able to believe in their own ability to create the life that they want. Right now, it feels like they're kind of operating on, what's the word I'm looking for? Autopilot. Yes, autopilot. They're just going through life and not taking the lead and not taking ownership and not creating intentionally the life that they want to live. And because of that, it's, they haven't been able to come forward. So once they understand, once they understand that and have that awareness, it will help them to be able to communicate. So what is it that they're feeling that they're not sharing? Discontent and boredom, triumph, and positive forward movement. So what they're not saying, what they're feeling is that they're discontent and bored where they're at. Whatever situation there is, whether it's a job, whether it's a karmic partner, whether it's a, whatever that is, it's like they're not happy. They're looking at it and they're like, oh, this is not what, it's not what they thought it would be. It's not what they wanted it to be. It's just, that's their energies, that they're feeling really discontent and bored. They're not going to tell you that though. So if you happen to look at their social media, if you do that, you're going to see they'll be presenting an image about, how things look, but that's not what is really going on. And then there's this Triumph card. They're ready to move forward. This is the Chariot in the traditional tarot. This is like moving forward, yippee-ki-yay. And that's the energy that they're in. They're literally in this space of, I can see it like spiritually, like they're just kind of chomping at the bit. It's like if you've ever, ridden a horse and you see a horse that they really want to just like, they want you to turn them loose and you just ride like the wind. That's the energy that I see, is like they're just in this place where they just want to go and they just want to run forward, but they know it's not time yet. And then again, positive movement forward. They're ready for positive forward movement. They're ready to take things forward. They're ready to make some shifts and some changes in their life that they haven't made yet. That's what this is what they're feeling. They're like ready to get the heck out of this energy and move forward positively in a new direction. And they're not sharing that with you, obviously, right now. So I'm going to move these aside. And I want to use two cards. I'm going to use from the Romance Angels deck and from the Fairy Tale Oracle by Lucy Cavendish, around what's going on in their mind, heart, and physical space. I pre-shuffled all of these, but I'm going to just shuffle a couple more times on camera because that's just what I do. That's just how we roll. By the way, as I'm shuffling, I'm just going to say, I don't know about you all, but I've had some major purges this last week. The energy was super intense, but I had some really great purging and came to some really great insights and conclusions. So if you've been purging, just know that I feel your pain. But purging is good because we need to get all that shit out of us, all of that, any of that lower level energy that no longer serves or whatever. So what's in the person who's not communicating? What's going on in their mind right now? The juniper tree, which is deception and a past life relationship. So they're not being honest with somebody. Their thoughts are not honest. They may not even be honest with themselves. This story is actually kind of awful. But it's about the truth coming out eventually. It's about somebody trying to do something shady, and then they get found out, and like the truth comes out. It's like somebody is getting blamed for something that they shouldn't have gotten blamed for. Maybe somebody is acting in a way to like trying to shift the blame. So this could be that they are in a space of, in their mind, they're like, if your connection ended poorly, if you're like in no communication because somebody blocked the other, what I'm getting from this is that it could be that they're in this space of like really trying to shift the blame to you, really trying to not take responsibility for what they did. And so there's this like internal self-deception that's going on. And it could also be that they're just not being honest with other people. Maybe they haven't told the whole truth. Maybe they are withholding some things from other people in their life. Or maybe they're withholding things from you, and that's why they're not communicating. But they're thinking about this connection. I get really clearly that for a lot of them, they don't believe in things like past lives, or they're like, I'm not really spiritual, or maybe they have spiritual systems that don't support like past life experiences. But they're thinking about it, and it could even be that they're having memories of it. I know that some people have had memories and connections of their counterpart coming up from past life relationships. So they could even actually be having memories of past lives that are in their mind space right now. So what's in their heart space? The poisoned apple, jealousy. Hey, jealousy. That was a 90s song. The poisoned apple is about, you know, just literally the sense of just jealousy, of just like, you think about like, you know, Snow White, the Snow White story. It's like somebody is jealous of you. Okay, this in their heart, this is, and I'm actually getting this, this is your counterpart is actually jealous of you. They may be watching you, they may be just like sensing your energy, and you're doing the work. Like you feel good, you're feeling, you know, this is for, if this resonates for you, take it and run with it. You've had some insights, you've done your work, you've been feeling more encouraged, you've been feeling like, you know, maybe I can actually do this, maybe this isn't going to be, you know, just really feeling positive. Maybe even positive things happening in your life where you're suddenly, you know, successful, and they're seeing it, or that, you know, maybe they're spying on you on social media and they're seeing you be happy and successful and things are working out, and it's like they're feeling jealous because they're not feeling that way. Remember, they were feeling their discontent and boredom. So they're not feeling happy where they're at. They're not feeling super contented and whatnot. They're feeling disconnect, they're feeling boredom, they're feeling like they want to move forward, they want things to change, and they're watching you and they're like, wow, but like my counterpart, you know, he or she is just like shining and everything is working out, and they're feeling a little bit of jealousy about that. They may be feeling, again, this is going with this one where the, you know, shifting blame, they may be feeling spiteful towards you right now. They may just be feeling like some bitterness and some resentment right now, and that may be part of what's keeping them back from communicating. They're definitely feeling some intense feelings towards you, but they're also in this space of, in their heart, they're like really wanting to open their heart and to give and receive love. They have shut them, I really get clearly that they kind of shut themselves off when this whole thing went down. Whenever it was that y'all went into not communicating, they really just shut it down. They kind of shut down their heart. I'm going to move the camera back a little bit. And they just kind of went into an internal cave. And now they're really wanting to work through that energy, to open their heart and to let themselves give and receive love again from you. So what's in their physical space? Dedication. The white swan, wild swan, sorry. And this could be the one. I get that. It's kind of, I'm kind of laughing about that because what I really get from that is like signs and synchronicities, that there's really like a lot of energy around signs and synchronicity. So it's like in their mind, they're sitting here thinking like, this could be the one. You know, this person, you know, you, the person that's watching this, when they think about you, they're like, I've already met the person that I want. I already met my perfect person. I already met the person who was the yin to my yang, whose body fit mine perfectly, who saw the world the same way that I see it, whose mission was perfectly aligned with mine. And they're recognizing that physically. In their physical world, they're starting to see it. I get really strong that there are signs and synchronicities that are just popping up. And they're just literally like, wow, this, I already met the partner that I was seeking. Like I asked spirit, God, whatever language they use for someone, and this person showed up, and like, damn, that's the energy that I'm getting. And this wild swan is all about passion. It's about being dedicated. It's being willing to do some work. It's you know, not needing to, so it's kind of getting past the ego identity that needs to do things for approval of others, but is really just doing it for its own benefit. And so what I'm getting from this is that they're really becoming dedicated to this connection, that they're starting to realize and starting to recognize how much they wanted that connection to come forward, how much they valued being in connection with you, and the fact that you're no longer around, that they're not in communication with them. is really bugging them. They really want that to, it's like they're recognizing this could be the one, and so they're becoming more and more dedicated to this situation, to their own personal transformation and growth as well as they go through this journey. So I'm going to move these aside. It's a really positive reading overall. I mean, there is definitely some intense energies in there with the jealousy and the deception, but it feels like that energy is being moved through right now. So I want to get some messages from the higher self. Spirit, some messages from the higher self. Of the Watcher, please. Sorry, I just yawned because I didn't sleep last night. As I said, intense energies. Okay. I am just going to take them all, because why the heck not? Let me turn them over. So the first card that came out, a message for you. I'm thinking of you at this very moment. Your love fills me with light. I love you. Next message. Freedom. There's nothing stopping you. The path is clear if you want it to be. Next message. When you pass from this world, you take nothing with you but your soul and the memories you have shared with those you love. That to me always is a confirmation of a soul-based connection. Twin flames, your passion ignites. I think that card came up last week in this reading too. Amazing. Surrender. At times we must surrender the old before something new can enter our lives. Let go and all will work out. Beautiful. And soulmate. Wow. Your soulmate is already with you in spirit. Believe this and they will manifest physically. You guys, I don't know how much clearer to make it. Like these are messages from their higher self. These are messages that they want, that they're sending to you. Their higher self is sending to you. So this is literally them saying, look, they're understanding, their higher self is trying to get them to understand fully that this is a soul connection. This isn't just some, connection they have with Joe Blow or whatever. Their higher self is helping them to understand the true nature of this connection, and they're starting to freaking get it in the physical 3D realm. So, wow, I love this reading. Please let me know how it resonated. Let me know if you have any questions. This is, by the way, the Lover's Oracle. I don't remember who it's by. But anyway, if you want to book a reading with me, please feel free to do so. I have some times available this coming week and weekend. So anyway, I hope you're all well, and I'll talk with you soon. Bye.